Hello friends! It's the third night of Hanukkah, and tonight we're going to be making some blue glitter slime using some simple ingredients like this tube of blue glue and this little cup of borax. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. In addition to your plastic mat, you can also now open envelope number 3. There's some glitter, some glue, a stir stick, a paper bowl larger than this one, and a cup full of borax, including a little Dixie cup. You'll also need some scissors to open the glitter up. The glue is 2 ounces of glue. You can measure this out to make however much slime you want. I'm just going to use the whole tube so you can see how much slime this makes. But if you want to measure it, you can use half the glue, and then we'll add some other ingredients to it. You'll see in a minute what else we're going to use. But for right now, I'm just going to empty this whole thing in. If you do use less glue and you measure it out, just make sure that later you're adding the same amount of water that you added glue. So the other thing you'll need is some water. You're going to need water to mix with the borax and a tube full of water to mix with your glue. So I'm headed to the kitchen now. I got some warm water in this Dixie cup here to mix with the borax. A little warm. I got filled up this tube with some warm water as well, and I'm going to mix that with my glue. So I'll do that part first. Just kind of put all that in there, and then we'll recycle these tubes for you. Just set it aside and we can come by and pick those up another time. We'll screw the cap back on. Okay, and then we're going to get out the borax. So open your little cap. Be careful because this stuff, it's a detergent. It's not great to get in your eyes. Mix the borax into the water, and then take your stir stick and stir it up. All right, using the dry end of your popsicle stick, go ahead and mix up your glue and water mixture. Get it nice and combined. You want it to be a nice smooth mixture so that when you pour the borax into it, you're getting an even solution. Get all those corners and down on the edges. You'll have a different shape of bowl than mine, so your edges will be different, but make sure you get those scraped so that the glue doesn't gradually gather down there. All right. This is the step where the magic happens. This is hard to get right the first time. You can pour just a little bit of borax in, and you can see right away that that's starting to clump in the middle where the borax touches the glue. If you add smaller amounts, you can usually get it to mix up without clumping quite like that. So I'm going to gradually add smaller amounts of borax and see if we can get this to all congeal here. That might be too much. Let's see what happens. Starting to make into slime. Now, I am the first to admit that I am not the world's best slime maker, so if some of you are better at this, then you go ahead and use your own method. I'm at this stage going to add some glitter to it. This is a lot of glitter, you guys. You won't need that much, so just add a pinch of glitter, and then you can set the rest aside for another project. I'm using my hands too at this point. If you don't like the feel of this glue before it turns into slime, you can use a glove for this step. You can keep mixing with your popsicle stick, whatever works for you. I'm just moving on to my hand because I want to see if I can get those clumps out that have formed from me adding too much borax at once. And we'll continue the process from there. Most of my glue has turned into slime at this point, but some has not. So I'm going to add a little more borax, and I'm going to continue to mix it. This borax solution is detergent, and it will dry out your hands. So again, you can use a popsicle stick. You can use a gloved hand for this part if you don't like this part. I am mixing this up, and I'm still getting some clumps, but it is starting to come together in those areas where it wasn't before. It's not quite as gluey, and it's a little more like slime now. I'm getting the whole lump up when I pick it up. I'm going to add a little bit more glitter to my slime because I can't see as much sparkle as I'd like. And it is starting to come together pretty well now. The more I knead it, the more the liquidy parts of the slime disappear. It is sticking to my hand quite a bit though. So I might add a little more borax solution here in a minute. And that is me going overboard with the borax. Oh no. So when you add too much borax solution, sometimes you'll find that your slime turns from slime into kind of a rubbery slime, but it is doing the trick of getting those last bits of glue off my hand and out of the bottom of the bowl, which is good. And the more you knead it, the more it does come together into one glob. I can even get this stuff off my hands now because that's slime instead of glue too. I'm just going to keep kneading it until it gets a smoother consistency. So you can see because I added a little too much borax, when I squeeze it too hard, it just kind of comes apart. So I think if you add less borax at a time, like maybe just a couple of drops of solution and mix, and then a couple more drops and then mix, you'll have a little bit more success with that. But that's how mine turned out. It's kind of a rubbery, glittery slime. Let me show you a quick hyperlapse of what happens if I leave it sitting for a length of time. So there are ways to fix your slime if it's too rubbery. You can soak it in some warm water so that it heats up, and then put some lotion on your hands, and that softens it up pretty well actually. And that's how you make blue glitter slime using a simple tube of blue glue and some borax. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.